Remember that future of streaming we were all promised? The one where we controlled the story? So, what happened? Why isn't every show a choose your own adventure? Well, today we're going to dive into the real future of interactive TV. And spoiler alert, it's not about you choosing the adventure, it's about the screen choosing to interact with you. Okay, let's rewind a few years. Remember when Netflix dropped Black Mirror Bandersnatch? It felt huge, like this was it, this was the future. We were all going to be directors, calling the shots on every plot. But, well, look around. Where are all those other interactive blockbusters? The short answer? They all fell victim to what we can call the Bandersnatch fallacy. It was this huge, shiny, really cool idea that interactivity had to mean these super complex branching stories. But it turns out that idea was fundamentally flawed. Yeah, the disconnect was massive. The promise was awesome. You get total control. But the reality? For the studios, these things were insanely expensive and complicated to produce. And for us, the viewers, honestly, it was exhausting. Most of the time, you just want to kick back and relax, not make a dozen life or death decisions just to finish an episode. Look, at the end of the day, it all boils down to one simple truth. We watch TV to unwind and be told a great story, not to do homework. The industry figured this out pretty quick, and they had to make a big pivot. But here's the thing, and this is the most important part of this whole story. They did not give up on interactivity. Not at all. They completely redefined it. The real revolution isn't about changing the story anymore. It's about fundamentally changing the experience of watching. So this is where that big shift happened. The industry moved away from what's called narrative interactivity, that's the Bandersnatch model, to something much smarter, engagement interactivity. This new approach is all about adding these cool layers on top of what you're watching that are way cheaper to produce, they can scale across tons of content, and honestly, they're way more fun for us. Here's probably the best way to think about it. Bandersnatch was like a beautiful, custom-built puzzle. It's amazing, but you probably only solve it once, right? This new interactivity, it's a playground. It's just always there, you can jump in and out whenever you want, and it's fun every single time. All right, so what does this playground actually look like? How are these platforms actually getting us to lean forward and start tapping on our screens instead of just passively leaning back on the couch? Well, it turns out it all comes down to three main strategies, three core pillars of engagement. This is basically the new playbook that almost every major streaming platform is building from right now. First up, gamification. This is all about tapping into our natural competitive streak. Think of Netflix's Trivia Quest or those live prediction games during sports. Will the next play be a touchdown? Vote now. It feels like a simple gimmick, but it's not. It creates this little dopamine loop of prediction and reward that keeps our eyes absolutely glued to the screen. Second pillar, data overlays. You've definitely seen this. The classic example is Amazon's X-Ray. You're watching a show and you think, wait, where have I seen that actor before? Instead of grabbing your phone and falling down a Wikipedia rabbit hole, you just tap the screen. Boom, instant bio. It's about satisfying your curiosity without friction, and crucially, it keeps you inside their world, away from the distraction of a second screen. And third, what many consider the holy grail, T-commerce. Shoppertainment. A buy now button just pops up for the exact jacket the hero is wearing. In Asia, this is already a multi-billion-dollar industry. In the West, it's the next massive frontier. It promises to turn literally every frame of a TV show into a seamless potential storefront. But, okay, none of this magic happens without some seriously powerful technology humming away seamlessly in the background. This isn't just a simple software update, it's a fundamental overhaul of how video is delivered to you. It all really rests on what you could call a tech trinity. First, you need insane speed, which comes from low-latency streaming for real-time reactions. Second, you need the massive bandwidth that something like 5G provides to handle all this extra data. And third, you need the smarts of AI to predict what you might want to see next, making the whole thing feel personal and totally seamless. And when we talk about speed, we mean it. Traditional streaming can have a delay, a latency of 30 seconds or even more. Now, if you're trying to vote on what happens next in a live sports match, a 30-second delay makes that totally impossible. The new goal for these platforms is to get that delay under 2 seconds. That makes real-time interaction feel truly real-time. And let's be crystal clear about this. This isn't just for fun. This entire shift towards engagement, interactivity, It's a massive billion-dollar bet that these streaming giants are making for their own survival. What's really fascinating is seeing how this strategy is playing out differently around the world. In the US, where platforms are in a bloody fight for subscribers, the focus is on data and control, giving you stats, instant replays, multiple camera angles to just enhance the product. But you look at Asia, where mobile-first social commerce is king, and the focus is way more on community and direct shopping. For a masterclass in this, you gotta look at India. During huge cricket matches, JioCinema ran a prediction game that asked viewers a question after every single over. This wasn't just a fun little game. It was a powerful retention engine. It forced millions of people to keep the app open between plays, which created an unbelievable amount of ad space and user data for them. Genius. So at the end of the day, all of this serves two huge business goals. Goal number one, reducing churn. That means keeping you subscribed month after month. And goal number two, opening up brand new revenue streams, moving way beyond just your monthly fee and into things like shopping and hyper-targeted advertising. To really get why this helps reduce churn, think about the IKEA effect. It's a real psychological principle. We value things more if we help build them. Passive viewing is like being served a meal at a restaurant. It's nice, but interactive viewing, that's like helping to cook the meal. You feel more invested, more connected, and you're way less likely to cancel that subscription. All right, so let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. Interactivity didn't die after Bandersnatch. It just evolved. It went from a story gimmick to a genuinely useful feature. This whole evolution is totally dependent on key tech like low-latency streaming and AI. And maybe most importantly, it means the future of watching TV is no longer a passive lean-back activity. It's an active, lean-forward experience. Which leaves us with one final thought. We used to think of screen time as this passive, brain-off activity. But this new wave of technology is turning the screen into a two-way mirror. We aren't just watching anymore, we're participating. That line between being a viewer and being a participant, it hasn't just been blurred, it has been completely and permanently erased.